Um, so just a little feedback about the last 6 weeks, the STARS prompts. Do you feel like it prepared you? Do you feel like I over prepared you? Okay. So if I was your coach in soccer and this was the championship game, boy, I would have been making you get in the best shape of your life. You know, I would have been throwing stuff at you so that you were prepared for anything. And that's what I did. And I know the last 6 weeks were woo, and those edits were rough, but it was purposeful and a lot was gained from that. So I hope that you understood the reasons why I was so tough the last 6 weeks. It was so you could, feel confident going into that test. And I feel like I've done my job, because the feedback I've received is, oh yeah, nothing, no problem, piece of cake, right? Which is good. So today, I'm going to do something that's very similar to what your sister is doing, Viomini, and I know she's in my advanced class. I love the prompt so much, and I thought even kids your age who were younger could understand what this topic is about. So I'm going to start with the video. So let me share my screen. Oh, I forgot that my computer is, hold on. Okay, for whatever reason, my computer is not set. I never set up my new computer. Okay, it's just a video about streaming services. Okay, so when we talk about streaming, what services do you stream at your house? Like, what do you have? Netflix? Do you have Disney Plus?
We don't have Netflix and Disney Plus. We have Hulu and YouTube.
Okay. Have you ever had Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what Netflix is? Do you know how they started out?
No.
Netflix is a game changer. What Netflix did was they started the whole streaming platform. In my day, meaning we went to Blockbuster, we went to Family Video, literally walked in the store with hundreds of videos, and you open the box to see if your video is available for the movie that you want to watch, and then you paid like, I don't know, $4 or $5 to watch the movie. And it was dependent on if other people had rented the movie. So if it was a popular movie, you were going to wait for it, right? Even at the video store. So Netflix was really smart. When we went into DVDs, what they did was they mailed the DVD to your house. If you had a subscription to Netflix and you wanted to watch a certain movie, all you had to do was order it and they would mail it to your house. And then you had this self-addressed envelope and you mail it back to them. And it was very, very popular. Then with new technology and being able to download videos, streaming capabilities came into fruition. And this opened the door for Netflix to offer videos on their streaming platform. Okay, so you don't have to order it. You don't have to receive it in the mail and send it back. All you got to do is buy a subscription to Netflix, 10, 20 bucks a month, and you have access to anything. Television shows, movies. And I'm guessing you probably had this during the pandemic. And did you have a little Netflix craze during the pandemic? Yeah, we all did. That term binge watching became really, really popular because people would, watch a network show. For example, on Netflix right now, there's a show called The Diplomat. It has one of my favorite actresses. There were 6 episodes. I watched them back to back to back to back in 2 days. I couldn't do it in one shot because I didn't have that kind of time. So now we can watch movies on Netflix pretty quickly. Now, I don't know if you know anything about Disney Plus. You can watch The Little Mermaid, the new version, right now on Disney Plus. If you have a Disney Plus subscription, it's free. Pretty cool, right? So something happened during the pandemic that never happened before. Usually when they released a big movie, and I'm going to give an example here. Let's say Spider-Man, No Way Home. They would release it in theaters because they want it to build revenue. They want to make as much money as they can at the box office, right? And it would take 8, 9 months before they would ever allow it to go to streaming. Well, the pandemic changed all that. I don't know if you've seen the turnaround, but usually it's within a month. You can see the movie come out, and within a month, it's on streaming. So what that's done for me is I'm like, I'm not going to go to the theater. I'll just wait, right? Why would I want to wait and stream it at home? What would be the reason that you think other people might want to stream instead of going to the movie theater?
So they probably don't really have to go to the movies and like waste gas and pay more money.
Is it expensive to go to the movies?
Yeah.
Do you know what the average ticket cost is? Between 11 and 18. Depending on lower end studios, 11 if you're going to go to like a movie grill. Like I like to go to the Alamo Draft House because it's all adults, doesn't allow kids, and they don't allow cell phones. Period. As a matter of fact, if you're on your cell phone during the movie, they'll kick you out because it's all about the movie experience. So are there people who are rude when you're trying to watch a movie? Okay, what are some things that you've noticed people do while you're trying to enjoy a movie?
Like they're talking so loud and they're like on their phone and texting.
And you can see the light from the text on their phone. Sometimes they're just talking. A lot of bathroom breaks sometimes. I don't mind those so much because I usually have to go once. But the in and out, right? There's always that one group too, like when you come into a group that they're all kind of talking to each other and you're like, come on, right? So I think that's probably the number one reason or number one complaint, cost. So for your family of 4 to go, let's say it's $11. That's $44 just for the price of ticket, right? But what is your expectation when you smell that popcorn aroma when you walk in? And you know that's on purpose. They do that on purpose, and they just suck you in like, and it smells so good. And I can't even eat it anymore. It makes my stomach upset, but the smell gets me every time, right? Do you buy concessions when you go to the movies with your parents? And is that cheap? No, because we know they price hike. You can go get a thing of Milk Duds at Walmart for $1. They're $4.50, right? At the concession stand. So yeah, they jack up the prices. Okay, so let's say each of you get a drink and a popcorn and a candy. That's another $11 each. You now have an $88 outing before gas, before anything else, right? I mean, how many times could you do that in a month?
A lot.
Okay, and your parents gonna, let's say you see a movie a week, right? That's $90. That's $360 that you spent going to 4 movies in a month. You think your parents are really gonna spend that kind of money?
No.
Or you can buy a $20 Netflix or Disney Plus subscription, and your family can watch movies the entire month for $20, right? You look at that comparison, it's cost-effective analysis. The cost analysis here is streaming kind of wins out, right? Okay, but if it's a big movie, you know, if it's an Avengers, if it's a Marvel movie, I know my family and I recently saw Avatar: Weight of Water. Did you happen to see it in the theater?
No, I didn't see
Okay,
it.
so this is James Cameron. He is the quintessential, not only director, he has brand new 3D technology. No one else has come up with his technology. So to see it on a regular TV screen doesn't do it justice, but to see it in HD high definition, to see the 3D graphics, to hear the Dolby surround sound, that made that so much more a cinematic experience. And there are movies that are intended only to be seen in the theater. I'm not saying all of them, but there are some that I'll make a point to go to the movie theater. Okay, so we're going to do point, counterpoint today. So do you have that? I'm going to pull it up so you can have it right with me. Do you have the document? Because I'm looking right at it. Are you a little mouse, anonymous skunk? Is that you? Is that you? Okay, I can't hear you again. I don't know how.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there is a video link if you want to watch the video. It's not great. It's just it kind of talks about streaming in movies. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 points of view. I didn't write this. These are other people's perspectives. This is Parker Otto. He's a columnist. Every time I go to the theater, it's an experience. When those lights go down, I'm in heaven because I'm watching a film on an incredibly large screen with surround sound. Even if the film is bad, I'm going to move that away from the light. I can at least enjoy it because it's in a place that I love. All of the outside elements that normally distract me from watching films are non-existent in theaters. Everyone turns off their cell phones. Everyone is quiet and together, seeing the same film with an audience. Sorry. Hey, Roma, can you do me a favor and close my blinds here? It's like, just close that one. It's like blinding me. Just pull it. This will help. And then kind of close them up. Does that make sense? Actually, if you just do, oh, there we go. Perfect. Better? Yeah, that's better. Okay. I'm going to move it. Okay, better. I don't even have my overhead light on, so it's really weird. Okay. Seeing the same film with an audience becomes a communal experience. We become more immersed in the story and we all feel the same emotions, only it feels stronger. Comedies become funnier. Horror films are scarier, and blockbusters are all the more powerful. Now, I love streaming. So do you notice he's taking the other side? Counterpoint. Netflix alone has given me some of my favorite films like Tick, Tick, Boom, The Irishman, The Trial of the Chicago 7, and Marriage Story. But if I had to choose between watching them on my TV or in a theater, I'd choose a theater every time. When you can pause the film or spend half of the film looking at your cell phone, it cheapens the experience. Only by watching a film in theaters with no distractions can you fully experience the majesty of cinema. Since I'm a huge fan of movies and want to become a filmmaker, theaters mean a lot to me. And they're the superior way to watch films, both old and new. What do you think kids your age feel about movie theaters?
Probably they like movie theaters because like you're going to experience.
Is it kind of like an adventure? Like when you go, it's a special event? Yeah. Counterpoint, streaming is the best. Have you ever thought about how expensive going to the movies is? I think we've had that conversation. The tickets themselves are at least $10 to $12, $5 if you catch them on a Tuesday. Let's be honest, who goes to the movies at the beginning of the week anyway? Let's not even get started on the snacks. Why go to the movies and spend $30 to $50 on snacks when you can literally go to the store yourself and buy whatever snacks you want for a much cheaper price? Do you know what's better than paying $10 to $12 for a ticket and spending $30 or more on some snacks that will be gone before the movie even starts? Streaming. Most of the time, you can rent new movies on the Amazon Fire Stick for $3.99 or more. Streaming and renting movies are so much cheaper than movie tickets themselves. Besides, movie theaters are always freezing cold, so you have to bring your own blanket. Agree. That's the worst. You can barely focus on how good the movie is because you're too busy shaking the cold breeze off your body. It's so irritating. If you stream at home, you won't have this issue. Instead, you can control your own heat and air. When you stream, you never have to worry about some loud mouth in the back screaming, "Don't go in there, girl. He's in there. You're about to die." Yeah, we all know the type. I actually like that. I think it's funny. Instead of spending your money to listen to someone who's not an actor or actress scream in your ear, you can stream at home in your own comfort. Okay, so here's what we're talking about today. We're going to kind of do a counterpoint essay. Fiomini, I've never done that with younger students before. This is a trial. This is what I do in my advanced class. It's called argumentative. So I'm going to kind of show you a kind of a more at your level way to do this. So there is competition now. Streaming versus movies. So what do you think happened to movie theaters during the pandemic?
They were like closed because of the quarantine and lockdown.
Did they all reopen?
Yeah.
No. Some people predicted that the pandemic would be the death of the movie theaters. And it was for smaller cinemas. They couldn't keep their doors open. They couldn't make enough money to sustain. Operating costs on movie theaters are huge. So what's keeping people away from movie theaters today? Streaming. Because we got in a habit over the pandemic. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I like it. It's a lot more convenient to stay at home. It's a lot more cost effective to stay at home. You know, I love how it said you could buy that on, I forget what that Amazon Fire Stick, a $4 movie. I could buy a $4 movie. You could buy a $4 movie for all 4 of your family. $4. You couldn't even buy one ticket for that, right? So that's incredible. So streaming services were hugely popular during the pandemic. And they're going to continue to gain momentum. Can they coexist? Well, they already are. You know, Hollywood's kind of bouncing back with movies like Top Gun, Maverick, with movies like The Weight of Water, the James Cameron film. Puss in Boots is the latest kids movie, released December, and it made billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. So what's the appeal? Well, do movie theaters have something to offer? Well, yeah. There's something a movie theater can give you that you can't get at home. Agreed. Just walking in, it's like an escape, isn't it? I kind of feel that way. I do like the ones with the recliners. Raise your hand if you're with me, right? Give me a recliner. Let me simulate the home experience. And I don't know about you, it is cold, but I always bring myself a little sweater. I've seen people with blankets and I'm like, you do it. You do your thing, right? It was cold in here. And I do kind of bring my own snacks sometimes just because I don't eat like junk. I try not to eat as much junk. I'm not going to tell you that I don't go for a little scoop of popcorn sometimes because they do. So what we're going to do today, we're going to kind of compare and contrast them first. Movies and streaming. We can watch movies both ways, right? Newest released movies are going to go to the movie theater first. There's still a pretty quick turnover from movies to streaming, but it is going to get bigger as we phase out of the pandemic. Movie producers can allow audience to gain access to watch their films both ways. So I don't know if you've noticed this, smaller independent films don't even go to the movie theater anymore. They go straight to streaming. Audiences can watch favorite movies on a technology screen of their choice. If you want to watch at home, your choice. If you prefer the movie theater, your choice. Movie producers release movies on both platforms. But if you want to make money, you're going to release it in the theaters first because that's where you make the most money and that's where it gets the most advertising attention. Streaming movies cost less than a movie theater outing. Usually has a high ticket cost as well as pricey concession items. We talked about that. Streaming is limited by at-home technology, whereas movie theaters often have state-of-the-art video and sound. You can't beat the video and sound and the giant screen. You can't get that at home unless you're a millionaire who has an incredible setup in your house, and that costs money. Streaming movies can give fans access to regular movies sooner, but fans will likely have to watch a big office movie at the theater and wait months before it's released on streaming platforms. Streaming movies at home is a normal experience, whereas watching a movie at the theater is a community event. I went to a theater in New York with my daughter, and my daughter said, "Mom, wait." And I don't remember what it was. I think it was kind of a thriller. And people in New York, they yell out. But it's funny, like it's like an experience. And I go, that was the most fun I've ever had in a movie theater. She goes, right? That's just kind of what they do. I don't think you get that at home. A movie can be paused at home for a trip to the bathroom. When at the theater, something will be missed if leaving. Streaming a movie at home, fans can watch all snuggled up, cozy in their living rooms, or me personally in my bed. But a movie theater will likely be freezing cold and less comfortable. Not everybody has the expensive recliners. So what is a point-counterpoint essay? It is a form of persuasive writing. The kind of essay allows a writer to look at both sides of the argument objectively. Writers must consider both sides to argue each side. So you have to, okay, this is what you're saying. I'm going to counter that argument. For one side, they find the strongest position and they make a claim. Okay, then you consider that side and you counter with another argument. You support each claim with examples, evidence, and statistics. Okay, so I'm going to warn you. This is a third person essay. Do not use I, me, and my. Do not use you and your, and you're going to want to. You're going to want to use both of those. You can't really even use we, our, and us, possessive pronouns. This is a third person formal essay perspective. Okay, so scroll down. Here's what I mean by point, counterpoint. Point. Streaming movies from home requires a monthly fee, but access to Netflix and other services allow customers to have a variety of TV and movie options, which means it's worth the monthly fee. Streaming services play the same TV series and offer limited movie options based on when films are released. So it's a waiting game to see when, typo there, shows or movies are available. So do you see how I counter-argued it? Okay, next one. Watching movies in the theaters is a form of escape and cannot be duplicated at home. Giant screens with high-resolution digital images and Dolby surround sound make this an exciting experience. Typo again. Counterpoint. It's more convenient to stay at home. Click on the remote and find a movie at home, as even new release movies can be found on streaming services. Even if a movie is on Prime for a fee, it's easier to just stay home and pay the minimal fee, which is usually much less than the steep price of a movie ticket. I think even during the pandemic, I think we watched Wonder Woman Part 2, and I think it was $20. It could have been $29.99. Still, $30 for 4 people. I couldn't even have got 4 tickets for that. Do you know what I mean? So if it's a big movie that you want to watch, it kind of makes sense. Point. It's too much of a hassle to drive to the theater, and sometimes audience members are just plain rude, talking loudly, putting their feet up on chairs, texting or talking on their phones, getting up and down to use the restroom. Counterpoint. Movie theaters are making it easier to reserve seats and offer discount ticket prices at matinee shows. Some movie studios enforce rules to keep audiences' behavior in line. For example, this is where I go. Alamo Drafthouse does not allow cell phones during the movie and will ask people to leave who break the rule. They really do. Like, they enforce it. And their employees are awesome. Point. Watching movies at home through streaming services means being able to pause a show or movie if needing to grab a snack, go to the restroom, or answer the doorbell. Then it's easy to pick up where the show left off without missing out. I love that. Yes? Counterpoint. Movies at the theater are an immersive experience, and audiences can block out the outside world and all distractions and sit and watch intently for a few hours. The main reason people go to the theater is to set time aside for a special movie experience. I kind of agree with that. Do you see how you look at both sides? Do you see how both sides have merit? That's the point of counterpoint. Both sides are right. This is so cool, Viomini. Both sides are right. Last one, going to the movies is too expensive, especially when it comes to ticket prices, concession food, and drink items. It's cheaper to stay at home and enjoy better quality food and drinks, as some of the choices offered at theaters are limited and tasteless. Movie theaters are all about the smell and taste of junky buttered popcorn. Popcorn at home cannot duplicate the taste of the movies. It can't, no matter what you do. It can't. Traditional candy options are also numerous at theaters nowadays, so everyone can enjoy the candy they love. Okay, so here is your outline. I'm really going to give you a lot, and I'm going to tell you, write this from your perspective. Viomini, you told me you had Netflix. I think you understand streaming, and I think you understand point, counterpoint. Okay, where does streaming come from? We already kind of talked about that. So here's your thesis. Both ways to watch movies, streaming and going to the movie theater, can coexist. There are times when it's better to stay at home and other times when a moving outing is preferred. You're going to prove both sides are right. Okay, body one. We're going to do point, counterpoint. Watching in a movie theater can be one of the best ways to experience films, but it has to be a big blockbuster film for most people to want to go. So example, movie theaters offer a superior technological video sound experience. Counterpoint, okay? I could watch Avatar at home. I could watch Top Gun at home, but that is not going to be the same. And by the way, they are streaming right now, both of those movies. And I've tried to watch them at home. Viomini, I walk out or I find other things to do. I don't get the immersive experience. Does that make sense? Number two, movie theaters offer a shared community experience. I kind of told you this. That's kind of part of the joy, right? Fans can watch movies more inclusive. Okay, but sometimes I don't want to be around other people, right? Right? I just want my time. Okay. So you get the point. Yes? Okay. When it comes to offering entertainment, both streaming services and movie theaters offer enjoyable options when it comes to watching newly released films, yet some prefer one over the other. Okay, so there's no doubt we have normalized streaming. I think a lot of people actually have some pretty bad habits. More and more consumers turn to streaming, such as Netflix, all from the safety of their homes. Fearful of being exposed to an infectious disease in crowded movie theaters, more and more people subscribed. Many experts believe the pandemic would cause the death of the movie industry. It didn't. It's not doing well, I'm not going to lie to you, but it's not dead. Some movie theaters have closed their doors permanently. Many theaters who have survived have had to look for ingenious ways to attract more customers to the movie theater experience. Only the future will tell the full story. I think what we're going to have, Viomini, this is my prediction, we're going to have fewer movie theaters. I think we are. I think that's the reality. I think people are going to go to fewer movies, and I think that there are going to be fewer movies released, but the movies that will be released are going to be better movies. Does that make sense? So I think the analogy here was one of the experts said it's going to be like going to the opera someday. I think that's a little bit extreme, right? Going to the ballet or going to the opera, but special. It's not going to be just like every day like it used to be when I was a kid. I remember a dollar movie theater. You probably don't remember that. You could get into the movie theater. I'm not kidding, Viomini, for $1. So we went all the time. Yeah. That's gone. I think you'll find that even there were, for a while, movie theaters that were discount. Those are gone. Have you noticed that? The only movie theaters that are alive are the ones that are doing something extraordinary, which may not be a bad thing, right? Okay. Did you learn something?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to choose anything I said or anything the way I said it. You can point, counterpoint any three in each paragraph. Whatever you feel makes sense to you. This is third person, though. Got it?
Yeah.
It's
And also,
going to be difficult because argumentative essays are usually for older kids. It's higher level critical thinking. So if it's hard, it's okay. Just focus on the body paragraphs, okay?
okay. And also, do I have to do the lead and conclusion?
Why not?
Okay.
Okay, it's a crazy month, Viomini. I'm not going to tell you that you have to. You're going to have to make that decision for yourself. This is a crazy month, May, right? You make the call. If all you did were the body paragraphs, I'm okay with that, right? And then we can spend the summer really focusing on the full thing, okay?
Okay.
Right,
And
kiddo.
also, my dad told me that we're gonna go on vacation on June and July.
Mhm.
So do I do like the online classes or do I do the Zoom recording?
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna, let me pop this in here real quick. So June and July. I will always post the Zoom recordings, Viomini. I'm moving in 3 weeks, like I'm moving my house. So normally I would like have it ahead of time. I don't think that's gonna happen. So yeah, it'll probably be a Zoom recording class, but you won't be in the video this time. It'll just be me talking. So hey, that'll be even better, right?
Yeah.
But I do appreciate you being willing to let me do this. All right, I got a student waiting, so I gotta go. Have a wonderful week. It's gonna go
Okay.
fast.
Okay, bye, Miss Hensel.
Bye, sweetie.